Alright guys, how's it going? Awesome Soul here, and I am back with a rather long overdue update video. So, I am currently back in Green Coast, and because you're probably noticing that the texture pack is different. That's not... well, it is because I like the texture pack better, but once we get into town, it's going to be fairly obvious that you can do a whole lot of things with this texture pack. It's the Conquest texture pack, by the way. And it just looks amazing. There's so many more possibilities you can do to just bring this town alive. So if you take a look at the other update video, it also showed off Green Coast. So sort of compare the two, and now all towns have that level of detail. I'll just go into this house, because this is one I explored last time in the other update video. So we go back to the cellar. You'll see that there's some shelves with scrolls and potions. It just makes everything look really great. Got the wine rack there. So this is a fairly fancy house. More wine rack up there. I guess this guy's a heavy drinker. Which is not good to be. Anyways, so let's go back to the dock, because that was pretty barren without this texture pack. So come along here. And also in here we got some shelves, nice little wanted poster and some notes, and these flies are just really great. They also add a whole bunch of what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. Immersion. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, we got some hanging fish. So it definitely feels like a used dock. We got net here that this boat will sort of drag out to the ocean, maybe catch some fish on. We got these that can be just lowered at will into the water. Yeah, everything just looks fantastic. Below the deck here we've got some more detail as well, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, I thought I put some crates down there. Oh, I'm thinking of another ship. Yeah, and we got a stool there, because this is supposed to be the rudder controls, and so awesome. I love this pack. So like I said before, it's going to be the server texture pack. Once you get on, it will be part of the server, so no need to download it. Of course, if you wanted to speed up the process, because it's a fairly big pack, you could download it yourself. But yeah, so that's Green Coast. And this time I actually came prepared, unlike the last update video, which was rather impromptu. So this time around I have notes. I'm actually going to be reading off them. I shall take you guys to another town. And here we are. So as you saw from the text bar, this is Swalholm. Sort of Swedish sounding, I guess. Yeah, but anyways. So the deal with this place, the whole region I'm in currently is called the Brackenmire Marshlands. And as such, there's lots of hanging trees. It's really hard to get around. There's puddles of water. If I come over here. Yeah, there's like little lakes everywhere. So getting around here is going to be really difficult, especially if you want to try and go off and explore. Let me just get back onto the path here. So yeah. Oh, yeah, something I didn't really point out when I was there. The gate at Green Coast is new. What do you guys think? Do you prefer the gate, or do you like that little torch post that I had before? I personally prefer the gate. Anyways, so one thing I really love about this town that I had, well, for originally I just had these as fence posts, but now I got the hanging rope, and I've got the hanging moss, which definitely makes it look more like an older structure, I guess you could say. But more so, it gives it the swamp feel that I'm trying to go for. Brown stained glass. I don't know. Adds the muddy feel of a swamp, I guess. But before I just could talk about this town forever and ever and ever, but yeah, okay, I'm just gonna show you my favorite house here, and then I'll get onto the other stuff. But yeah, so is this house not the coziest place you've ever seen? Like, seriously, I love this place. So, I could actually segue into one of the topics I was going to cover later, but player housing. So every single house you see on this map will be purchasable. Of course, for a large amount of gold, because obviously we don't want players coming in and well, just buying up a house and then just not really coming on. So we want to leave it for the most dedicated of players. As such, the prices, as I said before, will be incredibly expensive. For some of these smaller homes, like this little, don't know the dimensions by heart, but it's fairly small, and price mostly goes by the amount of chests that are in a house. Yeah, because obviously storage is going to be really important, because, as I said before, dedicated players are going to want to buy a house to store all of their items. I mean, there is a banking system with the Ender chest, but it only has a limited storage space, so you have to be really choosy about what you want to pick. I mean, you can't just hoard weapons and be like, oh, let me just buy a bunch of these and then clog up my Ender chest bank. It's not a good idea, unless you're going to be trading them. As I said in the last update video, yeah. Pretty sure I said it. Anyways, but all of these towns, if I come down here, yeah, so all these towns are going to be selling different things. So the blacksmith here is going to be selling like certain items that you can only get here. I mean, there's going to be a few that you can get in other places. Like, I mean, say Swalholm and Green Coast, you could get the same item, but there's no blacksmith in Green Coast. But yeah, you get the idea. But you're not going to be able to buy every single item from one shop. So if you want, say, some gear that's going to increase your health and a weapon that'll knock players back, so you can regenerate your health, your larger pool of health, and take advantage of that, you would have to, say this place would sell that armor, but you don't get that weapon you're looking for here. So you would have to go all the way across the map to try and figure out, or just find what you're looking for, basically. So yeah, if you aren't aware, if you haven't watched the first update video, this map is gigantifrickin-normous. 8,000 blocks by 8,000 blocks. And, well, for a map of, well, yeah, for this kind of map, it's massive. I'm not sure of the dimensions of some of the other maps, but I know the Windcraft map, well, last time I saw it anyways, was nowhere near as big as this. Another thing we'll touch on is that we're going to be constantly expanding this map. Not necessarily the size of this continent, but we will be adding extra continents. So you just go to a town that has a ferry service. There's actually 3 on this map out of the 37 current locations. Excuse me. Yeah, so 37 current locations on the map, only 3 of them have ferry services. Of course, that's just to encourage exploration, which is what we're all about on this server. So Dissension's all about exploring. There's no fast travel, easy warping on this map. It's all by foot, and we feel that leads to a richer experience, just because, I mean, you could just buy a whole bunch of items from this potion shop that you couldn't get at another potion shop, and just go to a town that has a potion shop, stand outside, and just be like, oh, I warped here, I got some stuff, might as well sell it. Yeah, that's not fun. So we have to, if players want to trade and make some money off of that, they can, but it's going to be an ordeal. We just, like, they can go out and hunt monsters, that'll get some gold, but obviously it's going to get you experience too. But trading is going to get you a lot more gold, but no experience. So you have to sort of choose what you want to spend your time on. Speaking of spending your time, it's a pretty average segue, but I'll go with it. So, let me just check here. What do I got? What do I got? Just consulting the list, hold on. Talked about that. Forgot exactly what I was segueing to, but I guess I'll just talk to the uniqueness of the classes on this map. I love this little dog, it's pretty cool. Anyways, so, yeah. Cattails are pretty awesome. Anyways, sidetracked yet again. So, uniqueness of classes. So what I've aimed for when I designed all 9 of the classes on this game are to try and make them unique. Well, obviously, you want all classes to be unique in your game, but what I'm trying to get at is they're not something you usually see in your typical RPG. I mean, some of them are, but things like the Channeler, basically, its power, ability set, I guess I could call it, is, they all have to do with the getting tongue-tied again. I apologize. The manipulation, there we go, of aura. So they can manipulate their aura as well as their allies. So that's something that's not usually done in a game. It's also a fairly well-rounded class, so it's good for beginners. However, its roles are usually, yeah, it's usually meant to be played in a more of a tanky role, like a defender, like a bodyguard defending your allies, and yeah, so sticking with your allies, and more supportive role, obviously, because you can influence the aura of your allies, like giving them a speed boost, making them more resistant to damage, that sort of thing. I was going to say something else, but oh yes. So regarding, I just keep wandering back and forth. I'll head off in this direction. So the damn it. Oh, yeah. So the roles all of the players can, or sorry, all of the classes can do, aren't exactly segregated to one position. So like the Oracle, you definitely think, oh, it's a healer. It's just a supportive class. It doesn't do anything else. Well, because of all of those heals, and it's got a pretty good defensive ability as well, it's pretty dang tanky. Its health may not be the greatest, but the fact that you're regenerating and healing, you're going to be lasting a long time, especially if you're with a group of people really close by. Just stick with your Crusader, heal him while you're healing yourself at the same time. It's going to be really hard to take down both you guys. Yeah, so I've tried really hard, and I'm pretty sure I've succeeded in the fact that all classes can play multiple roles with ease. It also helps by the fact that blacksmith here, I remembered. So yeah, it segues into the fact that all classes don't really have item restrictions. So an oracle, who do you think, oh, it's sort of a magic class, support, you'd think, oh, it's just got light armor. Well, if you want to be more supportive, you'd stick with the light armor, because it has a lower speed penalty. So if you want to get around quicker and sort of heal your teammates or provide that defensive buff that I was talking about, it's a lot easier if you're a lot faster. But if you want to be more of a tank, then obviously you're going to want to go with heavy or medium armor. Yeah. Medium armor is especially good on the Oracle because that line of armor, its specialties usually focus on health and health regeneration, whereas light armor focuses on dodging and crits. Not something you necessarily need for a support class, but the speed is definitely something you're gonna want. Also, speaking of that, all weapons as well. There's 5 weapons to choose from. There are swords, which aren't exactly the most powerful weapons. However, they're the only weapon capable of blocking hits. So, yeah, if you're looking for or to be more of a defensive class, go with the sword. That's for sure. Maces are another weapon. They're fairly slow, like a slow swing speed. However, they hit incredibly hard, and they're the knockback weapon I was referring to, or at least one line of them. Because I mean, there's multiple lines of maces, multiple lines of swords, and yeah. So staves, they're not. Because most people, when I've told them about, oh, I'm adding staves to the game, they're like, oh, wow, I'll use that for the Warlock, because it's probably magic-based. Not really. I mean, all weapons have differing potencies of magic abilities, or the maces usually, because they hit so incredibly hard, their magical potency isn't the highest it could be. Yeah. So, yeah, staves, think of them as a dagger, basically. High attack speed, high magic potency, but pretty low damage. What else? Pickaxes are, yeah, so they're fairly average, I guess. However, they have the highest magic potency out of all the weapon types. And the last one, let me see. Swords, maces, staves, pickaxes, and axes, of course. Axes are somewhere in between. Oops, got caught on the chest there. Yeah. So, yeah, axes aren't quite as powerful as the maces. However, they have a higher crit chance and a faster swing speed. So, again, you can choose anyone, so any one of those weapons for any of your classes. So you can play the game for a while and you're like, you know what, I don't think this is working for me. The stave just isn't cutting it, so I'll switch up to, instead of going with light armor and a stave, I'll go with medium armor and an axe. Even if you're playing as, say, a displacer, who focuses on sort of hit and run attacks, the extra health you're going to get from the medium armor and the pretty good damage and the relatively good crit chance from the axe is going to give you, well, I mean, the stave has a high crit chance anyways, but with the extra added armor you're going to get, it also, yeah, where am I going with this? Anyways, yeah, you kind of get the picture. Wow, I was going for pretty long. Congratulations if you stayed around for this long. Hopefully, piqued your interest. If I have, don't forget to leave a like on the video. And yeah, anyways, so the last thing I was going to cover is going back to the whole uniqueness of this map. So when it comes, or not the map, but the game mode, because my goal with this is sort of to compete with the Hunger Games and that thing. I want to go with that level of quality for this game. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is there's a lot of rather generic, basic RPGs out there. I mean, most RPG servers you hear about are like, oh, we've got an MCMMO and just slapped that in, and now we have the right to call our server an RPG. So yeah, there's very few good RPGs. Windcraft is the only one that really comes to mind. Yeah, well, like traditional RPGs, I mean, you're sort of wandering around, you can't break blocks, it's not exactly Minecraft, it's using Minecraft to make their own game. And that's what I've done with this game. So, yeah. So, what was I trying to get at? Yeah, that's what it was, sorry. Yeah, so, I am at a loss for words. What was I trying to get at? There we go. Okay, I finally got it back. Thanks for sticking with me. So yeah, because of the size of this map and the focus on exploration that I'm trying to, yeah, get players to go with, there are, so yeah, what I'm trying to get at is there are no dungeons on this map, and you're thinking, no dungeons? What are they going to do? What's the point of playing this then? Well, hold on, because there are going to be boss fights, so and sort of huge hordes of monsters that appear randomly. So, say for example, it's not exactly a good clearing anywhere nearby, but yeah, so I don't know, say somewhere along this road, and there'd be a message popping up on the chat bar and saying, oh, Groktar the Destroyer, I don't know, I just made that name up off the top of my head. Anyways, so yeah, Groktar the Destroyer is sort of, I'll come up with better names. Anyways, so yeah, he's appeared somewhere in the Brackenmar marshlands. Go find him, defeat him, and you'll get rare loot drop. So, what that's going to do, because I mean every single player is going to see that all at once. So they're like, oh man, I want that rare loot drop. So they're booking it to the marshlands. Meanwhile, say you've got someone who's prepared with like 5 team members just going in and sort of picking off other faction members, or other enemy faction members rather, because you can't kill people in your own faction. Yeah. So yeah, just picking off those guys, and I mean, once you finally get there, there could be a whole bunch of people. So you're trying to kill the boss while you're defending yourself from other factions. It's just going to be insane. And that's what we're going for. We're totally insane. Yeah, so I was going to say something, but I kind of forgot because, as I said before, I'm insane. Yeah. So yeah, player interaction is really key here, because, I mean, you could fight monsters till the cows come home, but I mean, who wants to do that, fighting a zombie running at you in a straight line, when you could be fighting a whole bunch of players that sort of bobbing and weaving and strafing your attacks while they're sort of firing back huge bolts of energy and freezing you, and you're teleporting behind them, and oh, it's just gonna be insane. I can't wait until this comes out. Currently, at the time of this video, there are yeah, so we're just doing the capital cities left. So there's 3 capitals, for one for each faction. It's also going to be the spawn point for when you first join. Or, well, not the spawn point. There is an actual spawn point where you choose your faction and all that. But once you choose your faction, you will go to the capital city. Yeah, so it's fair. Well, we're going to have sort of tutorials there, and NPCs are going to show you around. You can purchase books for your class, like a class guide, basically. So if you want some tips and tricks on how to, say, like, you've chosen the Displacer class, you want to know some neat things you can do as that class that, you know, you might not normally think of as a new player. So yeah, again, well, yeah, not again, but good old Awesome Soul, rambling as usual. Anyways, I'm sure you're used to that anyways, but yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, don't go off on tangents, I need to remember that. Yeah, so Displacer, books, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So, I'll try and get that for the initial release. And by the way, if you don't know, the initial release is going to be a beta for obvious reasons, just for balance testing and... Oh look, I finally got here. So the Crossroads. There's a whole bunch of these. But yeah, so obvious reasons for balance testing, that sort of thing. And I think I'll leave it here at the Crossroads, and because I don't want to explore the whole marshlands, because I mean... yeah. Oh, well, yeah, Poldermore. It's another swamp village. Shivering Grove is the name of... Actually, Shivering Grove is the name of the region where Green Coast is from. So, I mean, from here it's probably going to take you, I don't know, 5 minutes of walking. And that's like real life 5 minutes. And that's probably at keeping a good pace, like sprinting most of the way. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to cut that here. Thank you so much for watching the update. I really hope you're excited for Dissension. I know I am. Can't wait till you guys can play it. Yeah, so if you're on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like, add this to favorite, show this around, try and get some buzz going. That'd be great. If you're on Planet Minecraft and watching this, don't forget to leave a diamond. I think they still do that. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyways, yeah. Just show your support in any way you can. Check out incraftion.com for some smaller updates I post there that just don't usually deserve their own video. I mean, they're still great information, but making a 1-minute video just seems kind of pointless. I'd rather do this huge information dump. I don't know how long I've been running for, but I'm sure it's quite a long time. Yeah. So anyways, this has been Awesome Soul, and I will see you with the next updated video. Hopefully sometime soon. But yeah. Peace out. Later.